Hey, what's up guys, Ryan Rick here, the host of your show, Ryan Vlogs 2, not the number 2, not like you're going to watch this vlog, but T-O-O, like in addition, like also a little bit different format for today's vlog. Let's see, last week at some point, or this week, whichever way you look at it, we had talked about, I wanted to share with you guys a tornado story, and I said I was going to make it kind of like a story time vlog where I just talk about this tornado. So I decided today would be a good day for it. It's Sunday. Something I kind of maybe want to do maybe once a month, on the channel, where, maybe every, fourth Sunday or something in the month or something to that effect, we do this kind of story time vlog. I think it'll be fun. It's something I've been wanting to do, and with Sunday it makes it a little more, relaxed that way. And it's kind of a win-win because I get to share, a story and just focus on this story with you guys. And then for me, it alters kind of, maybe once a month gives me that little time, to spend with, my son and my family, on a Saturday, so that way I'm not always filming for a Sunday vlog. And then it just keeps, I don't know, keeps things, fresh and different and new and fun. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And so yeah, you guys want to get into it? We're going to talk about it right now. So basically, I'll give you the story, okay? It was March 12th, March 12th, 2006. I live in Springfield, Illinois. The weather forecast early in the morning had already said we had a pretty good chance of severe weather that day. Severe thunderstorms, light rain, maybe some wind, maybe some hail. So, okay, whatever, go about our normal Sunday. At the time, I'd been seeing this girl for quite some time. It wasn't really off or on. It was just kind of in a stage of, is it going to the next level? Is it staying at the level it's on? So it's just, things were up in the air, But it was my very first semester of college. I didn't go right out of high school. I went later in life. I chose the working path. So it was a Sunday. At the time, I was basically between houses and was staying with my mom and my brother and my mom's husband. So it was kind of interesting there. Yeah, I know, believe it or not, we all go back home sometimes. And I told my mom, hey, I was going to go out and, we were going to go to the movie theater. So I don't know if she really wanted me to be with this person or not. And I think against her better judgment, she's like, well, it's supposed to storm. So then the day went on. It became, towards the evening. So we had made plans to go to the movie theater about 9 o'clock that night, check out a movie. Thought it would be a good idea, So I go over to her house, which is in Springfield, and it's basically on 7th and Myrtle, which, if you guys don't know, but it's a cross street, okay? So we're there just kind of hanging out, talking about the movie, and we decided, we're not going to go to the movie. We're just going to chill out or do something different. And by just, chilling out, doing something different, sitting at home. So we're kind of looking at the weather. We had like severe thunderstorm watch. There was a few warnings issued, nothing too crazy. So we're just hanging out. Next thing you know, we got severe thunderstorm warnings being issued. The television's beeping, letting us know that they've, detected a supercell and some rotation, and, they're kind of giving like fair warning, early warning to, the counties ahead, the counties in front of us. So, we're just kind of paying attention. I've always kind of been a little savvy with the weather, but my ears and, eyes were tuned in to what was happening during that. So we're watching the television, and now mind you, I've lived in Central Illinois my entire life. So tornadoes, as bad as they sound, and severe weather, it's something where it happens so frequently here. That it's not like you're used to it, but when those things come up, you don't really think, oh, well, today's going to be a bad day. You're just like, oh, more storms, whatever. So we're sitting there just chilling, and then the next thing you know, TV's updating. It says these towns are going to be impacted, and they were actually listing all of these towns that were near us, including Springfield, and a time estimated of this storm arriving. Now, I'm looking on the radar. The radar at this point is looking, honestly, like death. I mean, there's these huge, like pink and red circular things with a hook, which is typical of a tornado, and they are definitely coming our way. They're showing like projected path and the time, and I'm starting to get a little apprehensive because I've seen so many warnings before, but never were in such detail did they say this city, this time, this town, this time. So I was like, this could really be serious. So I'm kind of looking outside, stand on this girl's front porch, and I'm looking around, and it's starting to get a little breezy, and I'm like, typical, nothing out of the ordinary. And I'm just like, okay, maybe it's gonna storm, maybe it's gonna storm, and then it gets really green. Like I'm talking extremely green outside, and that is a telltale sign of a tornado in the area or hail. It's about to go down. So it gets a little more windy. Here comes the hail. A little bit of hail, but it's about 8:45ish, so it's not completely. It's like it's dark. It was dark when it happened, but it wasn't dark quite yet when it happened. So maybe 7:45ish, I think, was the time. And it starts getting green, starts getting windy, starts getting increasingly, the hail's coming down, the rain's coming down, and then the clouds are going from like a green to a dark, and it's getting really windy. So I'm starting to think, well, it's a little more of a severe storm, but still nothing yet out of the ordinary, except for the green sky was, I mean, increasingly becoming green, like crazy, not even like Photoshop or edit your video style green. I mean, this was like almost fake looking. And just like with it being so green like that, I knew definitely we were in trouble. So her house had like kind of an apartment that they had built on so they could have like a rental property. So we're kind of like, getting nervous of the storm. Maybe we should go get this other roommate. So we went and got her and let her know, hey, what's going on. And then by this time, the sirens through the television were going on. Basically, the news was reporting tornado on the ground in Springfield, take cover, tornado on the ground. Right after that, all those sirens that we've played in the vlogs that go off the first Tuesday of the month here at 10 a.m., all of those sirens start going off. Okay, it's becoming increasingly windy. At this point, like, the hair is standing up on my body. Like, my hair, look down at my arms, it is literally standing up, and I'm like, oh, it's about to get real. So we run around the side of the house, we grab the roommate real quick, and we're like, yeah, there's definitely a tornado. They were telling us an hour in advance what time it was going to be happening, so that's how I knew this was bad. And we're seeing it on the radar. I've never seen something so strong before over Springfield. So we get there, and this house was designed where it had a basement, but it also had a way to get to the basement from outside, like in the driveway. There was like an exterior stairs, because it was an older home, and then a door at the bottom, like a wooden door, okay? So we get the roommate, we go in the basement. We're taking cover because the sirens are going off, and it sounds like, I mean, death outside. It sounds like a world war is occurring. So you can just hear wind and just things snapping. So we get in there, we get down to the basement, we're just kind of chilling, like, okay, this is kind of serious. And she lived by railroad tracks, and here comes this train, and I'm thinking, didn't someone let the guy know on the train that, there's a tornado coming? And I remember it like it was yesterday. The girl at the time, her roommate, she said, she goes, oh honey, that's not a train, that's a tornado. No sooner than she said that, literally, it was like full-blown goosebumps. I like went white in the face. My hair started standing up even more. Next thing you know, the entire house just started shaking. And I mean, I'm talking ridiculous. You could just hear things snapping, being thrown outside, crashing outside. It literally sounded like take 100,000 people and just throwing stuff at your house while you're inside. I mean, the sound was unreal. It like made my ears pop because of the pressure. Tornadoes got that low pressure, so it came over, made my ears pop. Well, I'm standing next to this like brick chimney, okay? Well, it starts collapsing brick by brick in the basement. I'm like panicking. I'm screaming, we're all gonna die. Stuff is just like the floor's shaking, the whole house is shaking. You can hear windows and all kinds of stuff going off. Then that wooden door that goes into the basement from the outside, next thing you know, it swings open, and then all this debris literally is just flying in and flying everywhere. And at this point, I'm like thinking we're gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, we're taking cover, and I'm like, we're gonna die. Because it sounds like it's right here. I hear that. I hear my car alarm going off. I hear just what sounds like just trees or something being thrown around out there. It seemed like it took like 20 minutes, and I know the reality of it was probably over in like 10 seconds. It was just, I could not believe how my ears popped, the hair was standing up, just everything crashing in these bricks, you know what I mean? Imagine standing next to a chimney and just all the bricks start falling down next to you, and this door like 20 feet in front of you blows open, and all this stuff comes crashing in. that was like, really thought, I was like, I'm gonna get killed by a tornado. Like, we're gonna die getting killed by the tornado. Like I said, when the door came crashing open, it was all the stuff flying in. Yeah, it's like, we're gonna die. We are gonna be killed by the tornado. And we're kind of just shaken up, you know, everything, it seemed to just stop. You heard nothing. It was whisper quiet. The sound of that freight train actually does exist. That's very true. That's exactly what it sounds like. And so we just kind of started going up the stairs, not the ones that were blown out and where the door was, because there was just stuff everywhere. We couldn't even get over there. So we go upstairs, and I was the last one to walk up the stairs. I'm just kind of shaking at this point because it's something that always has scared me about a tornado. It happened when I was younger at my old hometown. We had a tornado fly over us and do damage, so I think I was just always a little nervous about it. Walk upstairs, you know, I heard my car alarm going off, and you know, I was like, I hear my car alarm going off up there. Is everything okay? And I just remember the girl I was seeing at the time. She says, "Oh, babe, no, your car is not all right." Her driveway was about, I don't know, you could probably park 5 cars, you know, back to bumper. It's a very long driveway. She had a very big, massive old tree. This is an old neighborhood. Massive tree at the front of that driveway. And the road she lived on was 3 lanes wide because it was a one-way street. So basically, however long 5, 6 cars are bumper to bumper plus 3 lanes of traffic, however that would be wide, you know, length of a road, that's how big this tree was, and then some. That tree was all the way down on the driveway, like on my car and through it, like on the roof and partially through the windshield. The car was like, had no suspension. It was a 1997, I think, yeah, 97 or 99 Chrysler LHS. It was purple. I love that car. Didn't have it too long, but literally, like, it looked like I had hydraulic suspension and it was just slammed on the ground. It was incredibly low. And this tree was just all over it. Now, looking all around, the house is like partially destroyed. Part of the roof's gone. The windows are gone. The door's gone. The house 2 doors down that's just nothing. There's like a toilet there. There's trees and everything everywhere. Phones don't work. There's no power. Water works, but there's just chaos. Nobody can use the phone. Nobody can do anything. And I just remember kind of walking around just in shock, trying to get signal, trying to talk to my mom. Everyone's just trying to figure out if everyone's hurt or alive. There was a lady across from us who was like on her porch outside on the 2nd floor, and that entire porch got like ripped off her house. Well, that's crazy in itself, you know. And like fast forwarding a little bit of the story, there was actually 2 tornadoes, and the path of it was directly in the neighborhood I was at. So if literally we were 1 block over, or I mean 1 house backwards, or if we were 1 house to the east or 1 house to the south, I don't even know if we'd be making this vlog. And I'm not lying about that, because that lady's got ripped out of her porch and she went to the hospital, and she made it. But I mean, that could have been worse. The other house, where it was just completely vaporized, there was nobody in there, luckily, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it could not have been a vlog. So if that wasn't already enough, like I said, part of the story I didn't say in the beginning, but I almost died twice during the tornado. That's where, in my opinion, like, if that wasn't bad enough, the traumatic experience of going through that, seeing that, just the hair standing up, the destruction, the sound, the sheer force, the bricks collapsing, my car is totaled, and I mean totaled to the max totaled. Like, that was enough, and then couldn't get a hold of anybody. If that's not enough, it literally got worse during the tornado after that. Like, seriously. So I just remember after some time finally getting the ability to make a call, use a cell phone. So I called my mom, just, you know, she was worried. I said, yeah, we were badly hit over here. They were on the west end of Springfield. They didn't get any damage to their home, but almost 3 miles of where they live, like every power pole was just laying in the street as if it was like somebody playing with Lincoln Logs. It really was. I mean, everything was just... We went on driving the next day, you know, a couple days after, and I mean, the whole town, like, the whole main drag, Wabash Avenue, where a lot of stuff is at, they had to close it down. I mean, it was completely destroyed. The tornado took the path of that, and you guys can read about this, the Springfield, Illinois tornadoes, March 2006. I'll find some links about it, and I'll share it in the video description so you guys can see. It was pretty crazy stuff. But I remember my mom finally picked us up. What should have been a 20-minute drive took them about 4 hours to get to us just because of detours, debris, no power, just a lot of damage. A lot of damage. It was, I think, two F2 tornadoes, so it was pretty intense. Um, we finally get to my mom's, and we're just very shaken up. Mind, it's been a long day already, a long weekend, long week. Now this, just traumatic, or just kind of like, So I walk into my mom's, and in their house, in the kitchen, if you there's a door, and you step out of that door, and it goes down to the garage. And in the garage, they got the refrigerator, extra drinks, soda and stuff. So I just wanted to walk out to the garage, get something to drink out of the refrigerator. I was getting a Diet Coke. Now, when you step out of their garage, they have this kind of wooden, basically it's like a wooden platform. And when you pull that platform up, that's how you gain access to the crawl space, because they obviously been in there to take cover. So now my mom's husband, he's a big safety guy, so it's always been kind of like awkward, you know what I mean, that this happened with him being a safety guy. Well, make a long story short, that platform was basically what I stepped down from the kitchen to the garage. Mind you, there's no power. So I already went through a tornado, already thought I was literally going to die and died, but lived through that. So I remember kind of like stepping, you know what I mean? I took 1 foot out. I'm kind of show you here. Let's see. So I kind of basically did one of these. I kind of took, one step out, and I'm like, okay, it didn't feel right. You know what I mean? Something didn't feel right. No, it was this way, because I took 1 step with my right foot because I'm right-handed. So I stepped out. I was like, this step doesn't feel there. So I think what had happened was I just kind of overshot the step because they had actually removed it. There was no step. So I put my weight here on the ground, and then the next thing I know, obviously went to take that final step, boom, fell right into that crawl space, literally. Fell right into it. I was about 4.5 feet down. I mean, I just fell right here, right on my side, on my ribs. It literally knocked me out. I was out cold. I just remember like my mom's husband and my mom screaming and something about call 911 or something like that. And there's metal rebar posts that stick out, because it was basically cinder blocks that made this opening, okay, to get to the crawl, with a wooden platform on top. And these metal rebars kind of held that step in place, and it had a handle and stuff. Well, literally that like rebar was like right over here. It was right along. It didn't puncture me. It didn't go in. It just was right here beside me, and I fell on my ribs. So I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. My ribs were basically broken, cracked, fractured, whatever you want to call it. We didn't go to the hospital only because I knew they can only wrap them, which I should have wrapped them, because now I've got like a little more bony on this side than this side. So I probably should have had them wrapped so they healed correctly, but there's really nothing I can do now. I guess if anything, they would be stronger. Um, but falling down in there and just almost hitting the rebar. I mean, if I'd have fallen, a little more to the left or a little more forward, that rebar would have gone right into me. You know what I mean? That would have punctured a lung, killed me. Definitely, I'm sure it would have not been. It would not have been good to have this much metal rebar going into the side of your body, especially near your lungs. No way at all. And it's just crazy too, having that right here, falling down, the pain from that, already going through the traumatic experience of the tornado. And it's just kind of something with my mom. She's always felt like, I almost died twice that night. She almost lost me twice. She almost lost me once, the tornado, and then a freak accident falling down into this crawl space, which the steps should have been placed back on there. But because it was so fresh, it just happened. It wasn't. So I fell down in there. And I just remember I really could not like breathe. I couldn't talk. I couldn't laugh. I couldn't cough. I couldn't even move. Everything was just hurting so bad. We woke up the next day and I was in so much pain. Like I was just almost crying. I mean, it begun a little bruise, but nothing that seemed, it was just so painful. And we started driving around Springfield and, trying to get back to the girl I was with's house to just see what things looked like during the day. Because by the time the tornado come and we got outside, it was pitch black. So we couldn't really assess all the damage. And once the daylight came, oh my gosh, that's when I realized that how bad it really was. It was horrible. A lot of people lost everything. FEMA came through here because that's how bad it was. The federal government had to come in and help out. Red Cross, Salvation Army, everything. It was horrible. We spent some time cleaning up, but I couldn't really do anything for about 2, 3, 4 days. I mean, the pain in my ribs was horrible. By the second or third day, there was just darker bruises going from like the center of my chest, starting on the side. And I'm not kidding you, in the days and the weeks that came after that, those bruises became bigger and like purple and green and just the most gnarliest and wicked colors. And they just went from the center of my chest to the center of my back. And I mean, it seemed like it was honestly never going to heal. Every once in a while, like if I touch myself here or get poked on the side, I'm real sensitive on this left side, and I think it's from that, and it's always been something that's kind of stuck with me because literally you can see not my ribs, but like just a part of my bone here that looks just a little bigger than this side. So it's always been different, but I always think about that, and the tornado. You know what I mean? And that's what really jump started my extreme addiction to weather. Right after that tornado, I was in a class in school where we kind of did some stuff with weather, and then I took another class regarding that. It was just, I don't know. I've always, like, since then really was the jump off point. So that's why I always give you guys like the forecasts or talk about the weather or severe storms or things. I don't take it lightly, as I shouldn't. But yes, literally, I'm not exaggerating, but literally, yeah, I almost was killed twice by a tornado. Essentially, once by the tornado, twice by falling down in a hole. But like I said, if you think about it, the house, had it been one more house to the east or one more house to the south, I don't know if we'd be here to talk about it. Only because that one house was completely destroyed, and we were in this house. So I don't know how much better that. I mean, it probably would have been really, really bad destruction because they estimated that house at like a 48% loss. So almost half the house was lost. So that's a pretty substantial amount of damage. Um, and then to have fallen in that hole, and if I'd fallen a little bit more forward or a little bit more this way, I would have hit that rebar. So in addition to said broken or cracked ribs, I would have had punctured lung. I mean, right in the heart. It doesn't. Holy cow. So yes, my that is how I almost died or was killed twice during a tornado. That's my story time for you. Like I said, I'll leave some links down below if I can find some online so you can read about the tornadoes here. But wanted to share that experience, something my family and I talk about a lot. It's something I talk about very, very often. It's happened 10 years ago, but anytime we get severe weather, it's like the first thing that comes to mind, as it should. I never want to go through that again, and I never want to see someone go through a tornado, especially, right in the path. It's very scary. Um, a lot of people are into like extreme sports, and this would be like extreme to the extreme. I mean, I know you guys maybe seen the movie Twister, an older movie. It's kind of like a real life that. But yes, I didn't die. I ended up healing, obviously, and it was just always just something we always talked about. Especially my mom and I were very close about the tornado and just what happened. Like I said, she felt like she was going to lose her son that night twice. She didn't really want me to leave the house, and I did. I think it's because she didn't want me to be with this girl, but I did leave, and yeah, but I'm glad we didn't go to the movie theater because the movie theater was on the west end of Springfield, near my mom's house, and I think it was completely totaled, like a complete loss. So I would have rather been in the house than in the movie theater, for safety reasons. But like I said, with that door blowing open, the bricks collapsing, my car getting totaled, I don't really think there was a safe spot for anybody. And the only thing that happened at my mom's was just they lost power and just wind. That was it. There were some places that didn't even have anything. Some places completely lost their home. I mean, they were finding like stuff from businesses, like the head of this big statue they found like down the street, and all kinds of just wicked random things from one place they found somewhere else. So it was crazy. It was scary. So little moral of the story, if I can pass on anything to you guys, please do me a favor. Do not take severe weather lightly. Do not joke around about tornadoes or severe weather. If they're warning you for severe weather, take cover.
because the systems and technology they have now in place for forecasting and weather modeling is top notch and continues to get better every day. So be smart, pay attention to those warnings. It really could save your life. Now, my story could be a little different than yours, and hopefully you don't have a traumatic tornado. You almost were killed twice in a tornado story, but just pay attention, take cover, because that really could be the difference between life or death. I'm not kidding you. It's if you live in a place that has tornadoes. Some people have hurricanes and other stuff. We don't deal with hurricanes here, just tornadoes. And they can be bad. They can be really bad. I mean, in Joplin, Missouri, which is about 2 hours from me, you guys have probably heard about it, the Missouri and Joplin. It killed so many people. It was one of the nation's largest, most destructive. It's just horrible. And the power of those things is unreal. So be careful out there. But yes, story time. Wanted to share it with you guys. Let me know. Something like I said we can do maybe once a month. Make it more fun. Do it like on Sundays, because I think Sunday's a more relaxed day for everybody. I know we're all working and doing what we do with our family and friends, but Sunday I feel is a good vibe for like story time, so I can be relaxed and tell the stories. So, but yes, I lived, and thank goodness, because I obviously would have lost my son, and he was at his mom's in Chatham, and it was just the ability to not use phones, to call during that situation. Landlines were down. We're so reliant nowadays, on digital devices. And what do you do in a situation like that? There's not much you can do, but pray for the best. And that's where you learn about community, because neighbors, people you never even talk to, all of a sudden you're all working together to clean up for the common goal. Community is strong. And our community is strong. You know what I mean? It really is. So appreciate you guys tuning in for story time today. That's all I got for today for this, because that's just story time. I think it makes it fun. So let me know your feedback. A little different. And we'll get back to a regular vlog tomorrow. That's what we do at 12 p.m. But guys, I'm Ryan Rigg, the host of your show, Ryan Vlogs 2. Not the number 2. Not like you're going to let me know about the story time down below in the comments below. Some feedback, because you should. But TOO, like in addition, like also. But if you enjoyed story time today, please click thumbs up button, subscribe, become a friend of the channel. And if you made it all the way through to the end, I really do appreciate you checking it out and tuning in today. Leave me the comment down below, tornado. And I'll know you watched today's vlog all the way through. But guys, we'll see you tomorrow at 12 p.m.
How we're spending some of our Friday afternoon while running from the police in a police car in GTA 5. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
I love that on the PS4 that lights up red and blue when you're getting chased by the police. Oh my gosh. And we're recording too. Ding, text message. I wonder who that could be.